Well, it's the Feast of Trumpets. We're in the 10 days of Ah snap. I was reminded, God's a freaking gangster. I've been saying it for years. Just keep seeing it. It's just funny. But not funny. Not very funny at all. To God, what has been, the way that things have happened in the past. It's not funny how disconnected people are from reality. How they are so far programmed that they fight goodness. That they... You know, there are two things. People don't view the things that are happening accurately because they're disassociated. Hopefully you've heard enough of me explaining that in different ways that if you're listening to this, you already comprehend that. Because that's important. But you got to realize in the world, there are people who are out of sync with God, who cause harm, and there is God's wrath, which people will view as harm. And when you exist within a lie, you will view the truth as a lie. So let's say if the church is an anti-Christ church, like the abomination of desolation, then it would view Christ as like the Antichrist, the opposite, because they're rooted in that lie and they're disassociated. And until people face the information, face reality, and people can start communicating openly about it, the things that are happening are only going to keep being God's wrath upon all the things that are out of sync with God. I don't remember what I was just listening to, but the golden calf, that's just the one word that kept popping out. Golden calf, golden calf, golden calf. What happened? People didn't want to do the work. They didn't want to wait for Moses or the right time or put in the work. So, yeah, they tried making golden calves and even tried worshiping them. Like some Easter egg. God's people have been bowing down to idols. It's that simple. The reality is, forget what you know. You just go to the very most basic, foundational things and see where you lie there. I mean, the commandments are law. I mean, that's not a non-existent thing. That's a dimension that grace is built upon. You've already established that layer before you build the next one. Like being within the law is like the foundation. It has to be, or the house is not up to code. There is a standard that a building must be built by. Everything after Torah is built upon that foundation. The law didn't go away. The making full of the law by doing what Yeshua said was building a house on top of a firm foundation. And you know what? Okay, the flood is coming, but it's not with water. It's going to be torrents of people and craziness and insanity. Whatever chaos it takes. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. Hey, I'm sorry, but I am not sorry. Like, people just gotta... you gotta keep saying what people gotta do, because I'm doing it. I just want to share my opinion, my perspective. And again, 90+% of what I say is to me, because I keep learning from me, and what I would want to hear if I was anybody else with the information that I had. It's like the same standard as when I did tires. I worked on semi-tires and fleets, and I took care of their fleet in the way that I would want if I was the one spending the money on the products. So people respected that. I didn't take advantage of people. It's that same thing. It's that same mirror in a different situation. Knowing what I know, seeing what I see, that's what I would want to hear. Because from my perspective, that would get me to that right place. To the place where I could see what I needed to see fastest, easiest. It would jar me the right way. Whatever. Because the goal is to get people in sync with truth. When people exist in a lie, it's going to feel like chaos. It's going to feel like untruth. It's going to shatter our pride. It's going to crush our ego. It is going to quake our earth, earth, from the dust. All of those, all of the things that we hide from, having to face them all. Doof, 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 doof. That's all it is. You just gotta see reality for what it is and accept it. And then move forward. Make a logical decision of what next to do, considering all the facts. So it's just the quickest way through anything is straight through. Straight through. I don't want to sit there lollygagging around, you know, moving to the left, moving to the right, looking at it just forever. You want to go straight through. Don't think about it. The idea, here's another thing learned from the word. Okay? The idea of anything is much worse than the reality of just doing it, or actually doing it, or just being it. We spend so much time fearing something, or being anxious about it, or not wanting to do it because it's going to be uncomfortable. But the second you just do it, it's done. And then you're there. It's hitting play on a track, on a CD player. It's just run the program. You have all the stuff afterwards. Make the choice and just step into that, and then boom. Whatever the right thing is, no matter how difficult it is. Nobody say, I'm so much better than that. Like, and to the people who are just really that demented, where they just make conscious decisions actively, and they want people to be harmed. They want, they allow that. God, I pray that you could just see things clearly in the least painful way possible. Just like God would bless you in that way. Days of awe. Oh, snap. A lot of people. Are going to. I don't need to say it. It is what it is. I hope that every single person can get through whatever process they need to get through that is before them with the least pain and suffering possible. I pray that God would soften any hearts and minds, that they could just accept everything is a mess, face reality, and give an honest testimony. And as the good Lord sees fit, so that people will see and know and recognize that no matter what they call many things, it is God's wrath. And every action has an equal and opposing reaction. And nothing is hidden. So, what you want for others, you deserve. Your thoughts and your words and your emotions are in sync, and you're not programmed in self-denial and disassociated, you can't even wrap your minds around how free you can be, you can feel. A while ago, to be in peace with God makes you hostile with the world. I don't know, does anybody think I'm hostile with the world? I've never thought of this before right now. A lot of people would probably say that. Peace with God. And that on my side, I remember, wow, peace with God is so much different than what I thought it was. Like within Christianity, some parts, a lot of parts, what I thought was peace with God was just me being disassociated. Because that's kind of like the hack, the human hack. The bondage now is like mental bondage, and they've used trauma and all sorts of other things to hack and control and manipulate and program and belittle and reduce and harvest human beings. people operating, just mangling the spiritual body, trying to stitch together their Frankenstein golden calf. Anything to look at, to grab at, to hold on to come save them, so they don't have to see reality, so they don't have to face themselves. Facing yourselves, that will be the hardest thing anybody ever does. But it's the easiest thing to do. The action parts are really easy. The hard part is the making the choice. And then going through the process. Very good time for honest, raw self-examination. Raw self-examination. Not sugar-coated. And humbly share with someone, with people. Whatever, try easing into it. It's best just turn it on and go. You know, overdo it, mess up, whatever. Just dive in.